Well, hello, everyone. It's Monday night. It's been, a fast week and a very fast weekend. I am exhausted, hence why I put the wrong start time on the event. So, to all of you who showed up at 7 o'clock expecting us to kick off, first off, my apologies. Second off, if you're still here, thanks for hanging out because I'm really excited about the show this evening. We have some wonderful guests. We're going to spend a lot of the show talking about the kind of the year in review, how we got here, where Lorcana came from, and what we've seen over the past year. I have to admit that the first anniversary or the first birthday of this game, I don't know if it's an anniversary or birthday for TCGs. Let's call it a first anniversary, kind of crept up on me. For some reason, I always associate with September. And then when I saw the posts yesterday, the day before, about this being the 1-year anniversary of Lorcana, I was like, oh yeah, it came out in LGS's, now at the same time as Gen Con and everything else. So and it kind of blew me away because it does not feel, I don't know, I guess it feels like a year since the game came out. I don't know. Time is weird. And having a daughter at the same time really made this year feel really long. So anyway, I'm going to let our guests in a second. If you're here for the first time, thanks for joining us. This is our weekly Monday night show. And stick around to the end because we're going to finish up with trivia as we normally do. And we may have a surprise guest from the Lorcana family joining us as well near the end of the show to talk about some cards. So without further ado, though, let's bring in our guest for this evening as we start to talk about the history of this game. First, I'm going to welcome from the Illumineers team. I'm going to welcome Carolyn, our quiz master, who's here.
Hey.
Carolyn.
How's everybody?
I don't know. I'm doing well. I don't know about everybody in the chat. Let's move on to our next guest. We're going to bring in let's bring in Breezy first because it's also his birthday.
His birthday. The birthday boy.
It's Lorcana and I's birthday. Well, their anniversary, my birthday. Celebration time, everyone.
Birthday. Yeah, that's right. So welcome, Breezy, one of the hosts and the creator of Lorcana After Dark. Fantastic show on Twitch. And so welcome, Breezy. Can't wait to chat.
It's an honor to be back. Honored to be back in this fantastic show.
Yeah, and we're working on our 5th time appearance pin, so we got to get you a little bit closer.
Gotta bump those numbers up.
Yeah, you're at like 2 or 3.
5.
And somebody, for our final guest for the first segment, somebody who we need to start working on our 10th appearance pin, probably maybe 15th. It's Brennan B Squared.
Hey, happy everything!
Happy time.
The things. Gosh, what a fun day! What a fun group! How are you all doing this week?
It's been a busy week, man.
Yeah,
lots going on. But glad to be here with the dream team, honestly.
Yeah, this is kind of the dream too. I mean, I don't know. There's so many good people in
Lorcana. There's so many great people in Lorcana. Like this is like a 5th of the dream team. Let's be real.
It's a big team in this community. It's a huge team.
Yeah. It's kind of grown exponentially. It's something that I really like to look back on is, talking about the 1-year anniversary and stuff. Gen Con, was really close to this point last year. And there was a good group of us, and a lot of people have moved in and a lot of people have moved out. And just to see, like, there's way more people here now that I'm friends with, that I've, made friends with over the past year than there were at Gen Con, which like only warms my heart. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is funny to look back because thinking back to where we were last Gen Con when we'd barely seen Lorcana. We had the rules. People were trying to figure out how to play, but it even felt like at Gen Con going into it, there was a small group of us who were like aware of Lorcana and who like wanted the cards and were there just for Lorcana. But there were so many people who had no idea what Lorcana was, and the only reason we had Lorcana, which we can talk about later, is I think people figured out what it was when they got there, and they were like, "Hey, this could be huge. These cards could be valuable," and they wanted a piece of it. But it really did feel under the radar, just a year ago.
Yeah, and I'll say, like, I've been following the game since the very beginning, but, like, I've only come into the hardcore fandom and the content creator space in the last 3 months, so and even since then, the growth has been wild. Like, I feel like Lorcana is only picking up steam, and it's only gonna keep going up from here, to pull a quote sort of from West Wing.
Yeah. I don't
People
know.
are showing the DLCs, no big deal. We were hitting like 2,000 people attending just to compete, and
Less
not
than
even
5 minutes.
Yeah, no big deal. We're just, it's a small baby game that's just been around for a year. That's selling out. No big deal.
NBD.
It's cool. It's a cool game. There's cool characters that everyone loves and enjoys. The art is one of the best, if not the best. No big deal. This game is beautiful, and there's so many parts to celebrate. It's just the growth that we had as a community is so beautiful, and it's just, I don't know, it's the most wholesome thing I've ever been a part of, and it's just an honor to watch this beautiful game grow and become the best.
Yeah. I don't know. We do need to talk about Gen Con, but the one thing I want to mention, as we look back, I think on, because I do want to talk about Gen Con and then set one availability and all that, but like, I think having been around the TCG space for a while and seen some TCGs come and go and Wizards of the Coast do it for so long, we forget sometimes, and TCG fans forget how difficult it is to launch a TCG, especially globally. It's hard. It is very, very difficult. And even the ones that launched that have been around forever launched very, very small and, in their kind of local communities or in like a single country, and then grew from there into the juggernaut that it is. And those companies had time to learn and figure things out. I don't think we've ever seen a game launch globally with the kind of spotlight and built-in fandom that Lorcana has. And so, all that is to say, I think all of us have given the company a bit of grace as they've figured things out. And we saw some bumps on the way early on. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't there at Gen Con, but I have heard about the collective trauma that was Lorcana.
The community bonded over that originally, is what I heard.
Yes.
It's like the trauma bond is real. It's a strong core that just will grow within. It was a core event that needed to happen for us. Core memory.
There
can grow with it.
There's still people that I'll meet at like a DLC or something, and you get to chatting with people and they're like, "Oh yeah, I was there at Gen Con." As soon as they tell me that and they're like, "Yeah, I was there for the line, I was there for the madness," I'm like, we're immediately friends. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you've done. You were there, you understand.
I mean, I assume most people watching are familiar with Lorcana, but Brendan, you want to explain a little bit what happened?
Sure. So, I mean, hopefully I won't ramble too long about it, but essentially Gen Con was the first time the public could get their hands on Disney Lorcana cards. It was the first time that the first chapter was going to be sold. So those of us who were diehard fans following the game since, a year before that, basically, when it was announced at D23, showed up to Gen Con really, really early. Did it open on Thursday? Right? Or was it
Gen
Friday?
Con usually does.
Okay.
Gen Con usually opens on Thursday.
Thursday, cards were available.
So Wednesday, we all get in there. I remember everybody lining up in the front of the convention center before it's even open. Like, we can't even get into the convention center at this point. I don't remember how late or how early it was. That was just kind of the vibe of the thing. Some people went to sleep. Some people didn't go to sleep. We all get there. I don't remember what time in the morning, but early in the morning, the doors open. Everybody bolts to, we'd already found like on the Gen Con map where the Ravensburger booth is going to be. So we knew exactly which door we needed to get to just stand in front of the door and then wait until they open it. We run over there.
Drop.
Yeah, basically it's like rope drop. We all get over there and I don't know what they're called, but there's those like ropes that they use for line setup. and somebody tells us all like, hey, we know you're all here for Lorcana. This is the Lorcana line. There's going to be a line so that it's orderly and like chaos doesn't happen. And we're like, okay, cool. So we all get in that line. Of course, everybody rushes, and it's time to hurry up and wait again. At this point, we've been waiting for hours. Now we're all sitting in the line. Everybody's playing with their proxy cards. I remember I brought little cutouts of like the starter decks because they were going to do the starter deck challenges. Sitting on the floor playing with each other. And the morning's coming along. I remember watching people like file in as it got closer and closer to opening. I forget what time the doors actually open, but like 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock came around, and the line has gone way past the ropes, all the way out the door, back all the way down the other end of the hall, out the door. And there's a lot of excitement building because we're about to get our hands on these cards. And I even remember seeing Ryan Miller walk in and some of the Ravensburger people and everybody, like shouting for them or screaming for them. And
crazy.
we're getting a raid on Twitch.
Whoa!
Let's go. Thanks, y'all.
With the
What's
raid,
up?
Well, I've never been raided before, so this is a new experience.
Let's go.
1 year celebration raid. Let's go.
Anniversary raid. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, what's up?
Whoever Nerds Media. Mike, what's
so
up,
much.
my dude?
This is a weird experience. I can't see like the Twitch chat. I can see the Twitch chat, but I can't see like the things going on. So yeah, whoever friggin' Nerds Media, thanks so much. It's fun. Happy anniversary. Thanks so much. We're just chatting about man, everybody who's on YouTube is like, what's going on Twitch? No, this is great. Yeah, we're just chatting. We're reminiscing about 1 year of Lorcana. Right now, we're telling the tale of Line Kana and Gen Con 2023.
Yeah,
tragic tale. If anybody was there, whether on Twitch or YouTube, whatever, let us know in the chat and let us know a bit about your experience. But Brandon, sorry, you got.
That's okay. Yeah,
a bunch of people jumping in.
We appreciate the raid. That's awesome. And we're here at the climax of the story. Basically, Gen Con is known for never having lines. It's always been just people show up. There's a big crowd. They open the doors, and then everybody floods into the hall. So we were surprised that there was a line for Lorcana. And as it got closer to those doors opening, there was a Gen Con employee, I think, that told somebody, it's let out the words, there is no line. Like that's what was said, and that's what everybody heard. And I'm not joking. Within seconds of people hearing that, it was madness. Everybody like threw down the rope, ran towards the door. Like it was actually a little bit scary how badly people were trying to get to these cards. And the moment that we realized there was no line, it was kind of madness. And it especially was rough because the line was sort of off to the side and sort of around this corner of a wall. So there were a bunch of people who weren't there for Lorcana that were lining up in front of the doors like normal. So if they just open the doors and let us free, those guys are going to get in first before we do because we're off to the side. But we're trusting in what we've been told, being in the line. So as soon as chaos happens, everybody's just trying to push their way to the door. And then at that point, it just all sort of came downhill. We also had no idea enchanted cards were a thing at this point. And so all we knew about were legendaries and down. We knew that there were foils. And after all of this madness has happened, we are literally pushed, like I'm being pushed into people. Everybody's trying to get as close to the doors as they can.
All you can do not to get trampled.
Probably an hour or 30 minutes before they're supposed to open the door, the gamer drops an article and reveals, oh, by the way, there's this secret rarity card called enchanted cards that are in these booster packs. You should be really excited about them. So that only that only increases the FOMO. I'm sure. Yeah. And then as soon as the doors open, they go through the motions, tell everybody, don't run, don't, do all this stuff, be kind. And as soon as they drop the ropes and the doors open, I remember feeling just like a force that cannot be stopped behind me push, and the only direction was forward. It was only forward. And
you had no other choice.
No other choice. There's a wall of doors basically. So imagine there's like a little metal beam in between each door, but it's just like a wall of doors. So I got caught on one of those beams
as
people were like pushing people in.
God.
And there's an infamous cardboard box. I made Lorcana jerseys for a bunch of the community that we all handed out when we were there. And so I was carrying the box with me all morning to hand out to people. And luckily, the box was in front of me and got crushed in between me and the iron doorpost. And I could
saved your life.
I'm being completely serious when I say this. I have never in my life been concerned about being injured by other human beings like I was in that crowd. Like I was being, there was so much force being exerted on me into that iron bar that I was, for a brief moment, I was like, I'm gonna have to go to you're so, that's right. There was a brief moment that I was like, am I gonna have to go to the hospital? And were it not for like the jerseys and the cardboard box in between my chest and this beam, like I might have been, I could have seriously been injured or bruised. And so that just kind of goes to show the madness and chaos and no thinking. There were people that were like screaming. There were people that were, being trampled. It was kind of madness. And it went to show, one, just how badly everybody wanted to get their hands on this product. And then two, like,
chaos.
I don't know. Yeah, just how chaotic it was. And I remember once I finally got into the convention hall. And by the way, Liam was enjoying himself at a starter deck tournament in a separate area.
Wow. Couldn't be me, he said.
It was just like
which starter deck did you pick?
So that, he
best one.
I don't say that to like be any sort of kind of way, but like he got lucky in that he didn't have to experience all of this. And I remember walking into the convention hall, and it is just a sea of people. If you saw any of the pictures from D23 from the past weekend or two, it was that. Like it was just a sea of people as far as you can, as far as your eyes can see, and nobody knows what to do. Like we have completely surrounded the Ravensburger booth. They try and file us through and get some sort of order, and essentially a lot of us that had been there, I think I had counted like 13 hours or something crazy that I had been standing at the very end of the day, like by the time I got my product. But regardless, those of us that had gotten there first, that waited for a long time, I got pushed to the very back of the line. Like they pushed it, they like rounded us back out. I basically ended up right back where I started. And I remember it was not a good feeling in that room at the time. We didn't know how much product they were going to have. Everybody was speculating all day because, like Liam said, it's really hard to launch TCG. You don't know how much they're printing. You don't know how much is going to be available. And some people after that decided to leave and said, that's it. I'm not going to get my product. I'm not going to wait here all day. I waited here all morning. I decided to stay, and to my surprise, was able to get a booster box by the end of the day. I was kind of floored that they still had that much product by the end of the day. And it was supposed to be so that you could, like, they would punch your name tag when you went through the line so that you didn't have people like wrapping back around. They didn't do that because of things that sold out so quickly. So I was only able to get a booster box because that's all that there was. Couldn't get any of the cards or deck boxes or anything like that. They told us we could come back on the next day. And this is kind of a sad way to end this like exciting time of Lorcana being its first year anniversary. I, in a million years, never would have thought that I couldn't have been excited when I finally got my hands on Lorcana. Because just for context, I'd never opened a booster box before. Like I was relatively new to physical TCGs. I'd played digital TCGs before. So I was excited to one, like open so many cards at one time, but then also for Lorcana. And after I finally got my booster box, I remember just walking into a hallway with a friend and just being like, I have to sit down, and just sat down and stared at the wall for like 30 or 45 minutes because it was an overwhelming day.
I am so overstimulated. I need to nothing. I need to not exist for like 3 hours.
It was funny. You mentioned we're on the start deck thing because there's a bunch of us who were in there, and like we were focused on winning and playing. And so we got done, and like all of a sudden we look at our phones and there's just like, just messages and pictures, and we walk out and all of our friends are walking around like post-traumatic battle, like dazed. Like, what happened out here? While I was losing in my starter deck event. But no, yeah, it was crazy. But that really set the tone for then the scarcity of product for the first, I don't know, what, 3 months about?
At least.
Really all of first chapter. So, that was
Really
early
difficult to get.
August. And then first chapter came out August 18th in local game stores and September 1st in big box. And my husband and I drove to every store in the city we could think of that could possibly carry Lorcana. And while we were driving to the next place that we thought might have it, I was calling like 3 other places to see, do you guys have Lorcana? Do you guys have Lorcana? Like trying to figure out where we might be able to go. I think, ultimately ended up with one booster box that we pre-ordered from our closest game store. We're really lucky to live like 10 minutes from one of the largest LGSs in the Richmond area. And then we discovered so many new game stores in our area just because of this whole process. So like we now know where every single store is in the city and then some. Like we went all the way up to Ashland, which is like a college town like half an hour north of here, just trying to find cards. And I think we only ended up with like 2 booster boxes and maybe a couple odd packs after that day, but it was the most fun day I think we've had in a long time, just like going on a hunt through the whole city.
Do you have Lorcana?
Please.
The amount of times I called stores and asked them that, or asked if they were going to have that for the first chapter.
Yeah.
I had
Barnes and
stores
Noble.
that did the other way around. They will be like, yeah, we don't have Lorcana right now. And then would be like, what's your question? To get out of that
Hi,
situation.
this is Gamecast of Austin. We don't have any Lorcana. How may I help you?
Yeah, it's like, oh, thanks. It's fantastic. It was in the most breezy fashion. I think I had a guy. I had a guy. Who was like, hey man, I have a box of Lorcana if you want it. And I was like, sure. And then I was like, yeah. And then I got it. And I packed a Cusco. And now we're here. That was kind of the story. That was fantastic for me. I got the starter deck early too. Had a little plug-in.
You had a guy?
Got a guy. Just had it. He was like, I have the starter decks. Which one do you want? I got 2. 1, the best one. 2, the other one was like, cool, extra pack. First pack I opened. Giant Tink. Greatest day ever. And then
Incredible.
I read the card and I was like, this card might be the greatest card of all time. I've not read this, like, I do that and that.
Yeah.
Wow. Sign me up.
Seems good. Art's good.
It's just pretty good. It was a good deal.
Yeah, Scott's 100% right. So
Yep.
we on the Discord for our local game store, the one closest to us, after Big Box release, we were all chiming in with, hey, I just checked this Target. Hey, I just called this Barnes and Noble. Hey, Best Buy is supposed to have some on this day. Like, just letting y'all know so that everybody can try, or so that you don't drive all the way out there because they don't have anything.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I will say too, and people in the chat chiming in, that they didn't even, some people, Sunflower Illuminator, saying didn't even know Lorcana existed until set 2 because of the lack of product. But I will say this is where Ravensburger, to me, kind of showed how they were, what kind of company they were going to be engaging with the community, because that was about the time Ryan Miller put out a video that said, hey, we know there are product shortages. We are working to fix it. Do not pay secondary market prices right now. Like, we're going to pump product out there so that everybody gets what they need. And I think they really came through in the end.
Yeah, I think so too, because within a month of set 2 releasing, there was a set 1 reprint, and then there was another one with set champs in set 3. Like, there have been several reprints of first chapter, and I think it's exactly what we needed to sort of make up for the lack of product when it originally came out. I don't think they expected the hype.
Well, they've said as much that they didn't.
Yeah. And then, so I had a problem at that point, and I I'm gonna visually demonstrate here in a second. So the troves, those of us remember they did reprint a lot of stuff and they pushed out the booster boxes, but the troves for first chapter were not reprinted. And so troves went through the roof. Everybody wanted the trove boxes, the different pieces. And so I got that like stuck in my brain that troves were like rare. And so when Floodborne and Inklands came out, every time I saw a trove, like I'd buy a trove.
Just a guess.
Yeah. And now
and now you're gonna show us how many you have.
Well, it's a problem.
You can't carry them all.
He needs one of those like carry things to lift the weight.
I'm just not sure what to do.
Oh my goodness!
There's still one on the bed too, but I figured it wouldn't fit on frame. So
wow, the willpower to not open them, by the way.
Right.
Respectfully,
I did not buy that many Ursula's Return. But yeah, but troves were a thing, and then so anyway, too many troves. I don't know what to do with them all. Maybe I'll give some away. I don't know. But that was sorry. Can we bring back the books and troves? Yes.
Yes, please.
I want to read
lore booklets.
Yes. So then, I mean,
we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. But I think, sorry. Go ahead, Carolyn.
No, I was gonna say. So that was sort of the story of set 1, and then we got set 2 in November for local game stores, and December 1st for big box, and that was like the pre-Christmas release. We also got more first chapter around that time, and that I think sort of kicked the game into another gear. There was a whole new audience of people who found the game because it was more widely available. It was being talked about as this new TCG really gaining momentum.
Yeah. And then
Floodborne was the first time I started seeing product like sitting in a store, because I remember it's so funny to look back on this, knowing that it's only been a year. Because I remember back when it was just the first chapter, and even a little bit into the Inklands, where we were like dreaming of this day when I could walk into Walmart and buy a Disney Lorcana booster pack, because like that's how rare it was. And Floodborne was the first time that I started seeing just a little bit of that. And I live pretty rurally. I know there were other areas that still had problems, so I couldn't find any. But every time that I walk through Walmart now, or whatever super store you go to, and I see Lorcana just sitting on the shelf, my heart just like smiles a little bit, because I just remember like when it was impossible to find it anywhere.
Yeah, I remember the Facebook post and like Twitter post of like, oh my goodness, you guys, you don't understand what I just found. It's just a picture of that like corner pack thing in Targets with like the Floodborne logo, and it's just some packs. You see, it's like, wow, this is treasure you just found. Congratulations.
I had a friend at Locals actually buy the last couple of packs off of one of those end cap displays, and she asked the Target employee, she was like, can I take this home with me? And she's like, sure, why not? We're not getting any more in for months, like you might as well. And so she just has a casual Target Lorcana display in her house.
So jealous.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I asked a distributor once who was there, and she's like, I can't give it to you. But to be fair, Aaron probably wouldn't have. We don't have a lot of room.
You can put the troves on it.
Yeah, you stack the troves in
It's
them.
called storage unit.
I don't know what to do with them. They take up so much room. I should just open them. I should just open products. Maybe at the end of the stream we'll open up a troves.
There's an enchanted
that'd be fun.
Along Came Zeus in one of them.
I have real fun story, then we'll move on. I did the exact same thing. They're behind here, so I'm not going to pull them out. I did the exact same thing with the D100 collector sets. Because I was like, oh, they're not reprinting troves, they're not reprinting gift sets. Like, these are going to be hard to find. Also, there was a weird thing with the first chapter, and maybe Rise of the Floodborne. I can't tell for the booster box that's up there, but definitely for the first chapter, the only thing that kept the booster boxes sealed was that little pull tab, and you could very easily like take packs in and out of the booster box.
Rise of the Floodborne was when they changed the packaging.
And so like
seals on.
Yeah, and so sealed product like the gift sets and like the troves were extra special because you couldn't tamper with those. Like you knew that nobody was weighing packs trying to find enchanteds or anything like that. And so I didn't go as heavy as Liam did, but I have more D100 gift sets back there than I need or want. So if you open a trove, maybe I'll pull down a D100 gift set and open something with you.
Yeah. Yeah, man, chat is on fire tonight. There's always money in the banana stand / trove boxes. I have that many Floodborn as well, and then I realized they're not rare anymore.
Yeah.
But the D100 sets too, like when they first came out, everyone's like, I need them, and then and now they're.
But think about it, like, are they really, like, now after the first year, are they really ever going to reprint those?
No, that's fair.
Probably not. Well, that was my bet. Was like, oh, they're not going to get reprinted, but I think they printed quite a few. I need to look
at some point
maybe look at
in
the
the
price
future. They could be worth some money.
Yeah,
they had them available at Disney Springs in the set.
Oh, that's what it was.
They had them reprinted, and that's I saw a few, and I was like, that's interesting because like I wouldn't expect them to bring that back, but they did, and people were buying them too at the time. So they're kind of doing a little sprinkle here and there, and it's kind of interesting. People just want to play the Abomination Stitch. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, he's a beautiful card.
Yeah. It is a beautiful card. Yeah, I agree. They should do more animator cards. Merge, Disney animation and
yes.
And so moving on from there, like the print runs for Floodborn and Inklands definitely went way up, and I think there's still Inklands sitting on a lot of LGS store shelves, and so,
definitely,
which is great. And then one of the big complaints back then though too was that there was an initial announcement that Ravensburger was not going to do much with organized or competitive play rather for the first year. It was kind of the whether or not they said it officially or whether or not somebody misinterpreted, that was the understanding.
Yeah.
And then
that was the rumor floating about. Right. And then Lorecast happened.
Lorecast
happened.
And
Liam and Aaron got to be there.
Yeah, Liam and Aaron here showed up on screen.
I remember, so we were one of my best friends in the world had just moved in with us, and we were getting her into Lorcana, and this was like it was either right before or right after I got sick. And so I remember sitting down to watch Lorecast like with her on Twitch on our big TV because we use our PlayStation, and I remember seeing you guys. I was like, I know them. I know who those people are. Because I had been following y'all from the beginning on my personal Twitter. And I was like, this is
weird.
This is so cool. I know them.
It was a fun experience. Half the world was like, who the heck are those people? So
we're screaming in the
somebody
community
knew who we were. Yeah, it was a fun. It was a once in a lifetime experience, honestly.
Yeah, as Steven brings up something funny in the chat, there were a bunch of us were excited about Lorecast. I did a watch party, so did a couple other content creators at the time, and I want to say I feel like I would have reached out to Liam and been like, "Hey, Liam, do you want to be a part of the watch party?" And he was so dodgy the whole time, like just couldn't say anything, and it was so funny to realize why later when Liam, wasn't showing up to the first ever Lorecast. This is important, a big milestone. And it's like, oh, he was there. He is there.
I feel like now we have it like on our radar for like things like this when people are being dodgy. It's like, are you under NDA? Like, can you not say anything to me?
I don't believe anytime Liam tells me, "Oh, I'm just traveling for work" anymore. There's been a couple times that have come up where I don't remember if it was like another Lorecast or what's been going on, but I don't know, like this will get canceled, or I don't know, something will come up, and then Liam will be like, "Yeah, we're traveling for work," or like he'll his video will pop up and he'll be in a hotel room, and I'm like, "Liam, where are you?" Oh, I'm in, it's for work.
It's for work.
Like, yeah, okay.
90% of the time. 10% of the time. It's sneaky ninja missions. But I couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't tell. It was fun.
Because at the time, like, none of us knew how in touch Ravensburger was going to be with the community, and like how much emphasis they were going to put on, content creators being part of their communications with the community at large. So like, I don't think any of us even considered the possibility that like people we knew were going to be on screen.
I had to take work off. Yeah, no, and so that's a good point though, because I think again, we all get used to things like Nintendo Direct or Xbox streams or these shows that companies do, and so sometimes we take them for granted. But Lorecast, those of us who've talked to people in the company know, I think everybody here knows that was a significant effort on the part of just a very select few employees at the company who had to convince a lot of people that this was worthwhile, that Lorecast was worth doing, and they worked very, very, very hard to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so that was a huge success.
Shout out
Rochelle. And it very easily could not have happened. So and again, I think it says something about how the company wants to interact with the community and how they want to have these interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that really signaled too, like the closeness of that relationship. Like Nintendo Direct is something we see pretty frequently in terms of, communication between a game company and their community. Is like, I am the creator. I am going to speak a script directly to camera, and then it's going to cut to clips that have been carefully selected. And Ravensburger instead chose to do their first Lorecast live. Unscripted, like with a plan in place, but like unscripted with people who weren't company employees. It's like, that was brave.
That's true. I'm a loose cannon. Yeah, no,
it was a big leap of faith.
It is huge, and not only that, but Disney has always got their eyes on what's going on. So big leap of faith.
Caution.
But that's when we learned that I love it. This, yeah.
I was gonna bring it up.
That infamous line, which is the name of somebody's fantasy football team now. I won't say who.
Yes. Yes, they are in it, and they're gonna lose. By the way, just letting y'all know. Sorry
A plus reference,
perhaps. But yeah, no, it was it was great. And so at Lorecast, by the way, random note, I do have a behind the scenes video from Lorecast. I'm gonna do it at the end, I think, because it's like 3 minutes long. It's delightful. I love it, but I'm going to close the episode with that. So at the very end, if you all want to see it, we'll close with that, and it's a fun little sign off. But
it's real cute. I've seen it.
Yeah, it was fun. But then at Lorecast, we learned, hey, actually, there was a lot of news that came out of Lorecast.
At Lorecast, we learned about DLCs.
Yeah.
At Lorecast, we learned about Ursula's return, and that all of the sets thus far had been leading to like an actual big plot climax, which is super cool, and something other TCGs haven't done for a long time. And we also got a whole bunch of cards revealed, and we also learned about other things that they hoped to do more nebulously, which was really cool to just like hear sort of the hopes and dreams, however vague they were at the time, for the future of this game.
Yeah, that's what it really felt like too, is like hopes and dreams, because at the time we didn't know it, but like fan events was one of the things that was mentioned at the first Lorecast. How long ago was the first Lorecast? Was it 9 months ago? Is that like roughly? Because I don't remember when the Lorecast
was. It December or January?
I don't remember
it. You think I would know this?
You were there. Come on.
You were there. Come on,
it wasn't December. It was in the new year. So it was January or February.
Okay, it had to be
regardless.
January.
However long ago it was, there was this talk of fan events, this thing that we wanted to do outside of a competitive like tournament that we're also doing. And we're only just now hearing about the quests that, are going to be coming. And like, that's just further building on what fan events were. And so it's kind of interesting to look back and see, I know we know based on what the company said in different articles and interviews and things like that they are sets and sets and sets and sets ahead, working on stuff, a couple years ahead in some cases. And so we know that they are planning really far ahead, but it's just kind of cool to be able to look back and say, oh, they were mentioning fan events, and like we're only just now getting sort of an update on them outside of, it's something we still want to do. You'll hear about it soon.
Rebecca's right. It was March. It was after Inklands released.
Yeah, I flew to Seattle, from Seattle to Austin on March 24th. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, late March.
Wow.
Yeah, it was March 20th. So it was after Inkland's big box release.
Yeah.
And Steven's also right. It was where they announced set championships as well.
Set champs. Yep.
That Stitch that rocked the world.
Yeah, I got to see it right there on the table right in front of me. And I was like,
you got to
so
see
jealous.
The very first one
was
revealed
like,
to the whole world.
Yeah.
Another
So
Lorcana
special.
madness moment. First set champs and everybody running out to earn them.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Set champs is such a amazing concept, and they're just improving upon it, listening to the community like they've been doing. It's just everything they're doing is just such a we hear you, we're trying, and it's fantastic.
You got a Stitch there, Brennan?
Yeah, sorry. I normally have it like on my monitor so I can look at it, and I moved it the other day and I was like, where is it? I know it's here somewhere. I thought I'd lost it. It's behind me. Sorry. I got distracted.
There he is.
No big deal.
I see him.
Big deal.
He's right.
We see it. We see the shine.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Some cool pins you got there too.
Yeah.
I don't have all of them. I'm not didn't get them all, but have most of them.
Yeah, no. So that's a great point, Breezy, that you made about them evolve. Like the set championships happened the first round, and they've constantly evolved them. From the second one was you now have a month instead of 2 weekends to cram them into. We'll see how it works. And then this next one, they're doing top 8 instead of top 4. We'll see how it works. And every time they make these changes, whether it's that to set champs or a 2-game format, which we could talk about, which we also found out about on the first Lorecast.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there are people who love it and there are people who hate it. But what you have to admit is that the company is like listening and trying new things. And so even if, they do top 8 instead of top 4, and some people like it, some people don't like it, some people do like it. And maybe they'll go back to 4 later. Maybe they'll learn and do, change it up. Maybe they'll differentiate the top 8 from the top 4 from the top, I don't know. But you have to acknowledge the fact that they are constantly moving and adjusting and trying to respond to concerns they see out there in the community.
Definitely. And it's a baby game, right? They're trying to fix it, and it's slowly going to make sense. I know people are already talking about like top 8 is great, but maybe let's do a different thing for top 4 as well as the promo card, or make it non-foil foil. They're listening to it, and I think these changes here and there is going to make it as perfect as possible. And obviously, there's no way 100% of the people are going to be excited for it, because that's just impossible. But they're definitely listening to what they can and trying to improve it for most people as much as they can. And that's kind of what we can all ask and wish for any other card. Like, not a lot of other card games get to see changes because of the community saying, hey, that's not cool, or hey, maybe try this. So it's definitely
especially
a nice
not this quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah. And even, things like we kind of breezed over it a little bit, but the chat didn't. The Illumineers Quest, like the 1-player version of this game, which I feel like it introduced a whole new way to play to families and casual players. But it can open the game, especially if these continue with more and more standalone bosses like this that you can fight. It's going to open the door to a whole other type of casual gamer, which might not want to engage in the competitive play that's kind of the bulk of Lorcana play right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's me.
Oh, it's
that's me. The Lorcana that I play the most is Illumineers Quest Deep Trouble. That's cool. That's the most that I get out of my time, because my family is not, competitive players, and I'm not a competitive player myself. I could be if I wanted to spend the time and the money on that, but I don't have the money right now, to be perfectly honest. But we did have the money to buy an Illumineers Quest, and I had the cards to build a lockdown deck, sort of based on the one that Knive put together. It's Emerald Steel, and it reduces lore, and it prevents Ursula from taking actions, which are some of her most devastating cards. And So it's been really fun to put that into the board game rotation that we do here at our house, and we love it. There have been nights in the last couple of months where my best friend and I have played 3-4 games a night trying to beat Ursula.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Erin almost cried on Lorecast when they revealed that, just because she was the same. Like she literally like was almost in tears on live camera, which was fun. But I do want to move on in a few minutes to our next segment. But I kind of want to wrap up. You know, it even just in this short conversation. I say short. This 40-minute conversation for me. Yeah, I mean, short compared to This Week in Ink. This is short.
True.
Hey.
But I do.
You'll be missed.
Rip.
Even in this short conversation, talking like if you remember, like even 30 minutes ago when we were talking about all of us like driving around the city looking for like single packs of Lorcana cards, and there being no competitive play, there being no set championships, there being league, but nobody had the cards to play league. To go from that and Ryan Miller on camera saying, "Please don't play secondary market prices for cards," to now where we are with like the 5th North American DLC coming up, at fourth North American DLC coming up.
Yeah.
And worlds announced and product everywhere. It's amazing to think about where we've been and where we are now.
The growth is incredible. And it's been really fascinating, I think, to watch the agile way that Ravensburger has adapted to the challenges that the sheer size of this community has thrown at them.
Yeah. I don't know. If you were all to summarize, you know, your thoughts on the year and just like in a few sentences, what do you all, Breezy, Brandon, what do you all think?
You know, from a game that like people were upset at because they couldn't play it to now we're selling out constantly to DLCs to now announced worlds that probably gonna be a huge crowd and it's gonna be magical. It's the most fun I've ever had in any of my hobbies because of just the community alone, and the fact that we're just a constantly growing and such a positive environment that accepts that good vibe, and it's beautiful. And as much as I miss just in time to Cusco in turn 3, it's been a fun journey to play the game and watch the game evolve. Truly, like from playing those horrendous Ruby Amethyst mirrors that ended up basically being mirror bounce back to your deck so you don't deck out, to now what we have. It's just watching that evolution has been such a fantastic one on my end as well, to watch the game grow, watch the deck innovations grow, and it's just such a fantastic time. And it's year 1, y'all, and it's gonna get better. And the way that we got so many art, also crazy. Enchantress, D23 artwork, D100 artwork, all different. Enchant, it's fantastic. Fantastic.
And
Hi, Erin.
Hi, everybody.
Erin, what are your thoughts on the first year of this game?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Brandon can go first if you need a minute to collect.
Brandon, go. I just walked in the door from work, so I have not gotten my head in Lorcana space.
While you do that, I want to get one other person's thoughts shortly on the first year of the game. Ryan, what do you think about the first year?
Whoa!
Surprise!
Hey,
Surprise!
Whoa!
First and foremost, happy birthday, Breezy. I love you, brother.
Birthday,
I love you too.
Happy 1 year to Disney Lorcana, you guys. Like, let that sink in. We've been doing this for a year already, and like I can't believe it, but at the same time, it feels like I've been playing this game my whole life.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. I was listening to, I had my Disney playlist on in the car while I was running errands today. Went to the post office, dropped off some bracelets, and Show Yourself came on from Frozen 2. And there's part of the whole message of the song is, are you the one I've been waiting for all of my life? And like part of that almost feels really true for me, like these last couple of months, because like being a content creator around Disney is something I've danced around for a long time. Like I had a podcast, I was a travel agent, yada yada, but like playing Lorcana and being part of this community is the most fun I have ever had.
Feels like part of your world, right?
Zing. And it really feels like I'm doing
1 point for
it really feels like I'm
Practicing.
doing the thing that I'm supposed to
1
be
point
doing
for
right now.
Gryffindor.
Like I feel very much
Pretend hair flip.
Well, we're glad. We're glad you're doing it. I do have a
and I'm
couple
glad
other.
that I'm
Sorry,
here
go
with
ahead,
all
Dylan.
of you because I feel like all of you are in the right places too.
I'm a K-pop fan. I can do finger hearts.
Not the right
Oh,
way.
sorry, right away. Apparently I can't.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna attempt.
You're doing it right now, Brandon.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, chat. Dean Armada in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Another guest on the show. So we do have a couple of the guests in the green room. I do want to make sure we bring them in and do this segment, and then we can talk a little bit more about the year in Lorcana because I do want to get Brandon's thoughts and Aaron's thoughts. But we have another quick segment we're gonna do here occasionally. This will be the first one
I'm
we're piloting.
so excited about the person that I see sitting in the green room right now
Oh yeah.
because I've missed them so much.
Well, first, let's do an intro.
Okay.
Oh.
Wait.
Go.
And
And it recycled, but there we go.
It's Chappy.
Chappy.
Oh my god, I got an intro?
Yeah.
Intro,
Wow.
you got an intro.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yeah, well, there you go. It cycled because it was being laggy, so but it's really fun. I don't know. I did it in 5 minutes. I have a Canva problem. So Chappy is going to do a segment here. For those who don't know, Chappy has a YouTube channel where he does a series called Sketching Lorcana, looking at the art and design of Lorcana cards. It is a wonderful channel. Everybody should follow Chappy on Twitter and on YouTube. So we invited you here to do a little bit of looking at Lorcana art, during our weekly show.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. What card did you want to start with, Liam? What's the first on the agenda?
Well, I'm gonna briefly. It's gonna flash up, but first we're gonna do this one. Actually, we're gonna do this one first. We're gonna do Nicole first. But before we do that, and I'm really excited for you to talk about this. Before we do this, I have another person who's been sitting in the green room for a while, who I want to bring in for this segment, and we'll know why in a little bit. But I'm really excited. Welcome back to the show, Lorcana artist Luis Berta.
Hi, Louise.
Yo.
Hey,
Hello, Louise.
hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Oh, this is the best.
Breezy,
guest
you
line.
good?
I
Kinda
missed you,
starstruck.
Louise.
Yeah, I miss you guys. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing
Good.
well.
Good. It's been way too long. I can't believe it's
Mhm.
been like 5 months since we've seen you.
Yeah, 5 months. That's
You've got to
crazy.
come back to the States.
Yeah, very
yeah.
soon actually.
Yeah.
I'm
Ooh.
gonna be doing quite a run in a couple of conventions, so I'm very excited to be back again on this basically tour, especially on October. I have like 4 conventions, including the ones that I'm doing in Mexico. So
Fun.
it's gonna be wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I'm.
You're going to be in Miami, right?
Yeah. I'm going to be
Yeah.
there.
Breezy, you're gonna be. Oh, Breezy's gonna be in Miami. It's like her
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah, I'm gonna just drive there. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be there.
I do want
Actually,
to talk more about Miami.
Breezy's gonna drive to Tampa, and then we're gonna drive to Miami together.
Bingo. Stop at all the
best road trip
Buc-ee's.
ever. Stop at all the buggies. I do want to. So, Chappy, you kind of queued up a couple cards for us to talk about. The first one is this beautiful Nicole piece. What do you have for us this evening?
So one thing that really, stands out to this card, I kind of talked on it in one of my. Sorry, I'm still like starstruck by the way spin it in.
We all are.
So this card, I think it really speaks to Nicholas Cole's design with characters because I look at the other version of this card, like the DLC one that's golden, and you can kind of see like some of his designs with like how he's pulled from Spyro and Crash, and I was looking at it earlier and I was like, that looks like he could fit in with like Sonic, but it's Mickey Mouse, so it's like, how does that work, But one thing that's always stuck out to me about this card is, we talk about shape language when it comes to the art. And you'll have the shape languages of the certain inks and everything. With character design, there's also shape language as well. So with Mickey, you can see, he's got the round ears, he's got the rounded gloves, he's got the rounded boots, but also he, as a whole, fits within a circle. So even with that, like the little sheer sword like sticking out, you could still fit all of him within a circle. And on the card, if you look at the card, he is like completely contained within that circle. I just think that's really cool how he's right forward at the front, center of attention. Kind of speaks to, how we can kind of see him as the de facto mascot for Lorcana. Like, he was all over the original branding for Lorcana and everything for the first chapter. And it's the perfect card to start off with because of all of that circular shape language. You've got a lot of like mascot characters that are really brought to life with the circular shape language. Jared from Citizens of Lorcana asked me one time, do you think it could work with Oswald? And honestly, like, I feel like with how Oswald's designed, like, he could kind of step up with Mickey in some spaces, like I really think that's something we could see. But yeah, I think this card is just magnificent. The art's wonderful. Nicholas Cole always hits it out of the park.
Yeah. Louise, what is your kind of impression of this piece? And you know Nick pretty well too. He's a friend of yours. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while since I got to talk to him in person. I think it was even before the whole pandemic situation. It was back on Lightbots. But when I saw this piece, I was like, it screams Nicole all the way because of the intricate design of the costume, because he's always so methodic about about the way he does the costume design. He loves doing this costume design. And when I saw this piece, I was incredibly happy that they let him go all the way when it came to the way he does all this design. And also the color is just this was I believe this was like a landmark when it came to how the storybook feel illustration was going to be for the rest of the set and the net sets. I feel that this was like a very clear example of how we needed to do or how we needed to to illustrate the characters when it came to the style that we were going to use on Lorcana. But yeah, when I saw this guy, I was like, yeah, this is going to be like a iconic card for the set. And it was they made a pin, and it's also part of the the branding and everything. So yeah. It's fantastic. I love this is probably one of my favorite pieces of Nick in Lorcana. Yeah.
I don't know. It was fun to talk to Chappy about what pieces to do tonight, and we talked about doing kind of some of the D23 pieces, because it's still hard for me to believe now that we've seen almost 1,000 pieces of Lorcana art that back in the day we had like 6 pieces or 7 pieces to kind of go off of, and this was the first one. And so this way I think we'll always have a place in Lorcana fans hearts.
100%.
It's such special art. There's just something about it. There's like magic in that art. Like, I swear there is. It's so captivating.
Yeah. Speaking of captivating art and D23 art, we queued up 2 other pieces for you to talk about, Chappy. These 2.
Yes.
Just by this guy that we know. He's just, whatever.
I know that guy.
What were you queuing up here, Chappy?
So one thing that I really like about specifically Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. If you look at her, there's I noticed this earlier actually. There's If you look at the whole of it, there is like kind of a monochromatic color scheme
Mhm.
going on. Like it is mostly just I mean, there's some purple thrown in there, but in the purple you're seeing the seeping of the red and the pinks that are going into it. In the branches, towards the foreground, you can see kind of that pinkish hue going into it. With all of that pink and purple that you're seeing, the warm colors, it makes that green that's coming from Maleficent stand out even more so than before. There's just so much attention to detail. Not only that, but with Maleficent, you see her like fully realized and rendered for the first front of her, like her chest, and then her head, and then her wings, and then you see the tail. There's a little bit. It's like slightly, just slightly washed out. So your attention is brought straight forward to the front, like that's back there, but you are focusing on this monster that is about to unleash the dragon fire on you. And then on this art, that's funny, Liam, because I took the D20, not D23, the event promo as well from the DLC. I've got
Yeah.
the cards right on my phone. I'm looking at them with you.
Mhm.
But with that art, it's like the exact opposite. So you're seeing all of the dragon fire coming out. It's bright, it's harsh, it's glowing. It draws your eye to it, and then your eye is also caught off guard by the stark black of Maleficent. The pink's still there behind her. There's still some purple in there, but it's really offsetting. There's a high value on Maleficent, and then there's high value on the green fire coming out, and it is just it's so vibrant. It's so awesome, especially like the new fire that's coming from her maw. Like that just really, really feels good to like see that coming out of her, like the stark black maw of Maleficent. Such good art. It's so great.
Yeah. I don't know, Louise. What do you looking back on these pieces? They were done years ago, even before the game came out. Did Chappy kind of capture what you were trying to convey? And what's it like now seeing these, a year later after these cards have been revealed, as such a big part of the game?
Yeah. So the first one that I started to make was actually Dragonfire. That was the one that I got assigned first. And after working the thumbnails with Edgar, which was the art director for the first set, we actually were looking at the. I was still learning a little bit because it was one of the first cards that I was assigned for, and it was the first set, so I was still learning. And the thing was that when I did the thumbnails, I was actually doing way more of the body of Maleficent. So it wasn't just like it wasn't just like the face like you see here. It was way more. Um, it was a shot that it was a little bit more out of focus. It was like you were focusing like basically half body, and then we were discussing that. Yeah, we need to just focus on the action, and that's when I started to do another couple of thumbnails, and this one came out, and it was like, yeah, this is the more powerful. Like we're just describing everything because we want to be a powerful blast, and just focus on the blast, not the whole body. And funny enough, looking at the other thumbnails, uh, Edgar said, "Let's just give you a Maleficent as well," and they gave me the other card. They gave me Maleficent Monsters Dragon after that, and I was like, "Well, I have I have the two cards," and now I was trying to get those same color palettes, but of course, I was trying to also make the whole action going on and a little bit of the storytelling just right before the blast, just reflecting Maleficent right before the blast, and as I as I finished the Dragonfire card, I was like, this is too simple. I don't think people are gonna like it. And then,
Surprise!
and then after I see the impressions and I start to see the whole and now analyzing a little bit, I was starting to it was starting to grow on me, and I was like, yeah, the blast works. You can see the power on the blast, which is the the effect of the card, which is very related to that. So I was like, yeah, this works, and it started to grow on me, and it's probably still like one of my favorite cards that I have worked on um along with Maleficent. But yeah, it's just very it feels very very cool that I got to do dragons, because you know guys how much I love dragons as well. And uh, like I said before, I wasn't playing. I didn't get the assignments because I asked for them. They just gave it to me. It wasn't like a choice thing. So I just feel very honored that these cards came out um, as good as they did, and the whole situation about they became valuable because they're good. That wasn't on my plans as well. That was out of my. It was something I didn't plan at all.
It's funny. Ryan, you have a question?
Yeah. So Luis, first of all, huge fan. Love your artwork. I have a playset of foil Maleficents that when you and I do finally meet in person, I would love your autograph on. But so I kind of have a two-part question. The first part is, so let's create a hypothetical scenario where Disney comes to you and says, hey, coming up in a future set, we want you to do an art for any Disney character you want. Anything in the realm of Disney. What character would you choose and why?
Took my question.
This one's hard because I there's like so many movies that I have been looking throughout the years, but the one that Liam and Liam already knows as well is like it's Lion King. So
Heck yeah.
Scar is one.
Scar. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the second part of the question that I'm going to caveat. They tell you that the character you're going to be creating art for is a Floodborn. So this glimmer is overflowing with ink. And we've seen that a lot of the Floodborn characters do have, maybe like the Gaston, for instance, where he's not so much a big macho brute, he's the intellect. So what creative Floodborn spin would you put on Scar?
Wow, this is a tricky one in the
Great question.
in the
That's
get go.
an
It's a great question. It's a great question. So sometimes I kind of relate Mufasa and Scar like day and night, sun and moon. So maybe something related to the moon.
I love that.
Something related to the night, because we see this scene of be prepared, and we see the moon. Sometimes I just relate to that. So maybe something related to the moon will be actually very cool. Like having powers on the night or something like that, or darkness and light. Something related to that something a little bit more a little more cosmic will be pretty cool with the with the whole concept.
It's Scar in the clouds instead of Mufasa.
So that could be a very good one. Something related to the night as well. It will be something related to that, like day and night, and something close to that concept. So in the get-go, that will be something that I would really love to do. That would be
Disney.
cool.
Disney, you heard the man. We got to get him this card. We got to get him this card. Okay, he's getting a flood.
He's got a
Floodborn
vision.
card.
We need it.
That'll happen. Set
Clip
7.
it, ship it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'm available.
Yeah, you just got to do it and like just send it in, just like to their email. Be
Just
like,
be like,
hey,
I just doodled this today. Here you go.
just just do this thing.
Just do something fun.
You can have this one. You can have this one right now. I'll do
Yeah.
a final version if you pay me.
Send an email.
Concept.
Now, Luis, on that note, would you do the opposite for Mufasa? Would you have it
Oh
like
yeah,
he's the son incarnate? Like
yeah, something
that would
like
be
that.
sick. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, because I can't remember what Lion was, but you know the sun and the moon are actually like brothers as well. So
Mhm.
I think I think it was in the Mesopotamian culture that Shamash and and Pazuzu, which is very related to a demon, but it's actually not a demon. It's actually like a deity
Mhm.
in the Mesopotamian culture, which is day and night or something like that. But I think that would be actually very cool. You know, like a
Well,
like
and
a
in Greek culture, they're twins too.
yeah, they're twins too.
Mhm.
So I have to actually note that right now because if not, I'm actually gonna forget it. But yeah, that's actually a very cool idea that I could do someday. Even though if I'm not, if it's not done by Disney, it will be actually a very cool idea.
For sure.
But yeah.
It started here.
Mhm.
I do have to real quick because we got like 2 more segments to get to and don't want to keep it over too long. But do you need to plug Miami? Because Louise, you're going to be in Miami in October here coming up with I think 24, 25 other artists.
A lot of people.
A lot of artists. So you guys can miss that Miami TCG because it's gonna be crazy. There's going to be a lot of artists there, and I'm very excited because I get to meet some of them that I haven't met before, and also some of my friends as well, which is Nick and other friends that have been in other events before. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
It's gonna be a good weekend.
It's gonna be a little breezy there, a little R&B.
Party.
Yeah.
A little
It's gonna be great.
A little Lumineers.
And
Brandon
see
there
you
in
guys
spirit.
again.
Yeah, no, there'll be a lot of fun. A lot of artists in one spot. So Miami TCG was here earlier, so I had to make sure we plugged them a little bit. I do want to. I want to do a couple more closing thoughts on like a year of Lorcana to kind of wrap. But before we do that, we do have a segment that we do every week, and we have a lot of us here, so it's gonna be hard to stump us. But it is time for. And it loops. I don't know why it does that. All right, there we go.
We need to get Caroline a jingle. Like,
We do.
I mean,
think she needs a jingle.
that's sufficient. Having an intro is an honor, truly.
That's true, but we need something like
quiz time with Caroline.
We clipped that, used that. That's it. We did it.
There you go.
We just did it.
This is week 2 of us appealing for a jingle writer out there to send us a note. We have a job. We have a job. All right. Caroline, what have you brought for us this week?
So today I've brought some questions specifically targeted at the guests that I knew were coming. Ryan was a surprise.
Sorry.
That's not a bad thing. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
We brought in the heavy hitter
You
as
did.
per usual.
You
always-
needed to.
Yeah.
So we've got some Emperor's New Groove questions. We've got some art questions. We might have a little Lion King reference thrown in there. So yeah, let's kick it off with what I hope will be a relatively easy one. Breezy.
Whoa, let's not
Wait, are
target
you
this.
specifically calling on
Whoa,
people? This is
it's a community service.
It is it is community, but I'm gonna give you first crack at this question because I wrote it for you.
Okay.
All right.
What year did the Emperor's New Groove come out, my friend? You gotta say it out loud.
Year
The
0?
Double O. The
Yeah.
year 0. The Y2K.
The Y2K, yes, year 2000.
All right.
Double O.
I was like, is he looking at binoculars?
Looking for
Double
the
zero.
answer.
I knew
Double
it.
zero. She got it. We,
I got
we
it.
were in the same wavelength there for a
Brandon have
second.
Emperor's New
It's
Groove on
fine.
a shelf or something. that he's
I was
looking
gonna hit like I wish I had big numbers so I could bring it, but I just like big letters somewhere that won't work.
All right, a little art question now. What is the shape language identifier for Ruby cards?
It's lightning bolts.
Hey, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't even need to bring in Luis for that one.
Easy.
Yeah, Luis was like, I know this.
Wait, put me in, coach.
All right. Another art question here. I wasn't sure if Luis was staying, so I was going to have y'all name cards by Luis, but I won't put him on the spot that way. So instead, recently we premiered Lorcana Clubhouse here on the Illuminateers channel, and their first guest was Grace Tran. So name 4 cards drawn by Grace Tran.
Well, there's 32 of them. Wow.
I know there's a lot, so you have a lot to choose from. I'm
One
just
of them is
looking
the,
for
one of them is the
No
greatest card of all
peeking.
time. One of them is the greatest card of all time. I can't
I'm
find it.
peeking at my
No
at my
peeking.
last year's Miami
No,
binder.
I know the
'cause
answer, I'm
know
just
I
trying
got
to show
one
the card.
signed.
Oh, that's fine. If you know exactly what card you're looking for, go for
I know
it.
what Breezy's looking
He's
for.
reaching for the Cusco. He's reaching for the Cusco.
Where is one?
There should be one with a signature on it.
I was gonna say you don't have
my-
one just on your monitor.
It's in my deck box in my bag
Hold on.
downstairs next to my door because it's like I have one of those that have like the display. That's where I put the Cusco, so that's where it's at. That's the one.
There it
Yes.
is.
There it is.
Oh, man.
Breezy's
Yes,
signature
one up,
and everything.
Signed by Breezy himself.
All
right, so we have Cusco.
Can I jump?
Sure.
Good
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
I know she made she made Sisu, divine water dragon. That's the
Yeah.
one. That's the one I like because I collect dragons too.
It's very
That-
pretty.
That could be a double. I don't know if that counts, Carolyn.
Oh yeah, there is an enchanted.
Did she
version
also
of
do
that.
the enchanted?
Yep.
She
I don't
did.
know.
Okay,
Yep.
then yes, that's
Your rules.
certainly a double.
Your rules? Okay, so it's
Certainly
Oh,
a
I
double
was
because
gonna
that's
do it,
two
but I feel
different
like
pieces of
that's
art.
Nobody's
the-
saying her best art. Though.
Enchanted?
Come on, guys.
Aaron and I could go on. Like Aaron's dying over here, but we're gonna let you all.
Go on,
Nobody's
Ryan.
saying. Nobody's saying her. So she did the Rapunzel gifted with healing. Not promo, but event
DLC.
card for the DLCs.
Yep.
Like
Mhm.
There you
that's literally like one of the best arts that she did.
Mm-hmm.
In my
And then
opinion.
also-
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There
I
you go,
agree.
Breezy.
She's also got
Yeah, she also did
Cindy,
Maleficent biding her
Cinderella,
time. She did.
Cinderella.
Yep.
She did
How about-
Tink,
how
Tiny
about
Tinker,
Technician.
Tiny Technician.
Yeah.
The
Tiny
Tactician.
Tactician.
She
Yep.
did Everest
She did the
before, and
piglet too.
did you ever as before? That was the one I was
Yep.
hoping would get.
that is such a pretty card.
One of
I
my
love
Also,
that.
hand me one of those tropes.
She did. She
Also-
did the two drop piglet that
Also,
quest
she
with
did
her
all
if you
of
have
this.
two other characters.
Also this.
She did.
And
Did-
this. And this. And this. And this. And this.
I
Flip
can't
the box
see
on the other
this.
side.
And this. And this.
She also did the Cinderella Night, which I'm incredibly surprised that it actually. I just never thought I will see Cinderella on a night, outfit, which is very. Is it called what is it called? Stuttgart or something like that?
Stout-hearted.
Stout-hearted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. The Princess Knights are my favorite
Awesome.
trope of the
Those
game.
are good.
I
So are
need
the
all of
bots.
them.
It's so out the bots, and I
Very
love it.
cool.
Mhm.
She did the best item in the game too.
What's that?
Scepter of Arendelle.
Oh yes.
I was gonna say, I was like, she did that, Ryan.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Scepter of Arendelle. Duh.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's
Sorry.
And fun fact, she premiered her first song with the latest set with Shimmering Skies,
Mhm.
which is the it's the Beauty and the
The
Beast
blue
one.
one.
Ever as before, yeah.
Ever
That's
as before.
Gabby was
beautiful.
Gabby was saying that earlier.
She did
Mhm.
Chicha
yeah.
too from the new set.
She
The
did.
uninkable 2-drop Chicha.
Mhm.
Look at you guys knowing your art. I'm so proud.
Yeah.
All right. Switching gears a little bit. And I'm glad Ryan's here for this one because I think he
I'm
will be a
not.
big help. Name the winners of all the DLCs to date.
Wait, including
Oh my
including
gosh.
Europe?
Yes,
Please don't
including Europe.
include. No.
Frank won one of the
Frank
Europes.
Carson was
Yeah,
the
Frank
So hold on, we got
Carson.
Frank Carson,
Uh-huh.
Joshua Polt.
Yep.
Brian Cortada.
Uh-huh.
What was the last one? Was Edmund Chu.
Uh-huh. You need 2 more.
You're making me stretch for the
It's the Europe ones you're
is it-
missing.
it's the 2 Europe ones. It's Bologna and Bochum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't pronounce those words.
You said Bologna fine.
Yeah, because I like bologna sandwiches.
Bro, I thought it was
Oh,
baloney
no.
until like a month ago. I had to ask the Limiteers like Discord. I was like, "How do you pronounce this?"
I provided a wonderful pronunciation guide.
You know the sad part is I actually have a spreadsheet on my desktop with every Mickey winner and their assigned number.
Wow.
Like if I can,
That's
if
a
I
little
can-
intense, Ryan.
if I can,
No cheating.
Well, if I can look at that spreadsheet, I can tell
No
you the
cheating.
names. But
Where's the chat?
I was
oh,
gonna say, where's the
man.
chat on this one?
Yeah,
We're missing the winners of Bochum and Bologna.
Where is the chat on this one? Like help us out here, chat. Like
Ryan got pretty far. I'm impressed.
yeah. Brandon, you've got to know. Some of these
I
too.
knew I was gonna get called for this. I
I
don't know.
Like I know all the North America ones because like I know
You've
the
been
people.
there.
Well, I only been to 2 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 out of 3.
I'm going to index.
Getting some respect for the spreadsheet. Yeah, I just
Everyone
didn't.
looks a good.
Brandon, are you cheating?
Yeah.
Wow.
Brandon!
To be honest, I don't know anything about the competitive.
Yeah, as soon as the
So,
art
I'm
was
out.
done, I was like, "What?"
If it's something about art, let me know.
Yeah,
These are actually the only 2 that I also can't name. So like I'm also stuck.
No, that was Frank.
I can tell you the
So you
deck,
have
right?
a Ruby Amethyst player and you have a Ruby Sapphire player.
Yeah.
Theatime Bouchot.
That is not how you say that, but I'll take it.
I told you I don't know how to pronounce their name. I'm not gay. I'm from the South, man. Okay, like
Oh,
Down in
gosh.
Florida, we don't know how to say things.
I have the Bologna one,
And
but I'm not gonna be able to.
Steven just came in to help y'all with the last one.
Ellie.
Brandon's like, yeah, that one.
Using
Yeah.
chat is not cheating, Brandon.
Ellie Vipia.
I apologize to the Europe players. Like we
So sorry.
we watch
We-
all the streams. Yeah, we just sorry.
We will learn how to pronounce your names before you qualify to Worlds.
Europe's like Lumiteer is garbage. Like no.
I mean, to be fair, they're all sleeping right now.
I have an
it's fine.
attempt.
It's true.
5
I'm
o'clock
pretty
in the
sure it's
morning.
Teotim Bouchot and Ellie Vipier.
That sounded good.
sick.
Sound real.
Nice.
Yeah.
My French is very basic, so
I have a hard enough time pronouncing the American names sometimes for people to get up there. So,
Say my last name.
Holt
say
threw me for a
say
loop.
my last name, Brandon.
God, you're gonna put me on the spot. I should know this because I've heard it. Is it?
Y'all have to say
Is
it.
it?
No?
Is it Beaupré?
No,
No,
Ryan
I don't know.
Buclair.
Then
it's it's funny because Ryan Miller and I like when we were standing up there for top 8, he asked me like 4 times. He's like, "Say it again, say it again, say it again." He's like, "Say it again." He's like, and then he would like repeat it back, and he'd be like, "Wait, say it again." Like, I couldn't hold my composure. It's pronounced Beaupré.
okay.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah.
all right. Your
All right.
final question of the evening. Chappy's favorite film from the Disney canon is The Lion King. Breezy's, as we've established, is The Emperor's New Groove. These 2 films share a member of the lead production team. I don't need his name. I just want to know what did he do on the movies? Because he did the same thing on both movies.
He got famous artists to write the songs for. He was the guy. He was the guy that called Elton John and Sting. He's like, hey,
He was,
I
he
got
was
a
not a
date.
producer
I
because
know
that is
that.
what a producer would do.
Got his Rolodex.
He was not a producer.
Was
No,
it
guy.
a writer? No.
Let me remember. Jeez.
Tough one.
Casting director?
Technically, I will give that to you because he did write the original story.
Okay. The Kingdom of the Sun, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Screenwriter?
So he was one of the directors for both films, Roger
Okay.
Allers.
Cool.
Oh, that's true.
He did on both films.
Oh, that's a good one. Wow.
And good question.
That's
They
very
think they have
cool.
a
I
fantastic
feel like
song, by
tonight's
the way.
trivia with all of our
Well, you
guests,
know.
we still we still struggled.
Yeah. Good questions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
You
No,
got
I'm
you got
giving
all
you
your
that.
answers.
did.
So here's the question then. Who's the MVP? Who's getting a pin?
Yeah,
Come on.
Louise
Please.
is MVP.
No.
He gets
MVP.
MVP for that
MVP.
Dragonfire art alone.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Participation trivia pin. All right. Well, I'll take
There
it.
you go. Write it down, Liam.
Oh yeah, I should do that.
If you grab my lipstick again this week, I'm going to murder
It works. I have not sent Villain's box yet. I have it.
you. Well, so it
packed up,
didn't
though.
work all
It's
that well.
packed up. Ready to go. Louise gets a pen.
A pin?
It is a good way to
Yeah,
write
we
things
have
down.
like we're doing like little lapel pins, Luis.
Oh.
You can put it on your denim jacket.
Oh,
All your
yeah.
other ones.
Yeah, I got
Luis
like
keeps all of his pins on his blue jean jacket.
yeah. Yeah, I actually got a new jacket.
Ooh.
Probably gonna bring it
Nice.
to Miami. But yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I got the Madame Mim dragon pin at when I was in Atlanta.
Mm.
Ooh.
So I was very lucky. Just gonna say that.
I bet we could fit a Nick Cole signature onto that pen too.
Mhm.
Yes,
These-
I actually
The
yeah,
These are
initials.
pretty small.
Give him a very small
on the back.
marker. Yeah.
On the back, I'm probably gonna do that. Yeah, that's a good call. I don't know. Yeah, it's so rare to just to be part of the same event that I'm going to be with Nick as well because so it's gonna be Miami and at the end of the month it's going to be Lightbots,
Mhm.
which I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to have a table, so I'm probably just gonna do. I'm gonna do a demo. Just
Ooh.
I still don't know what day though. I still need to look on that, but yeah, I'm going to be on Lightbots in Pasadena.
Cool.
I'm going to be there, just hanging around.
So
And
we-
there's going to be some other artists that are from Lorcana that are going to be there too.
So just so everybody, that's the
So
same
many.
weekend as Seattle DLC.
Mm.
Mm.
Just so
Is it?
folks know.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a ton of Lorcana artists at Lightbox.
Yes.
Ton.
Yeah.
So if you're local to California and you're not going to Seattle,
Yeah.
hit up Lightbox in Pasadena. It's so much fun.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I will. I'm gonna plug it again. Like, if you're in the area and you can make it to Lightbox, it is an industry conference, so it's not on a lot of people's radars because it's for artists and industry insiders 1st and foremost.
Mhm.
But they have a great expo, they have great panels, and there's going to be a ton of Lorcana artists there. They have a great floor with items you can buy. Louise is going to be there. Ton of Lorcana artists.
There are probably even more Lorcana artists there than you know.
That is true.
Mhm.
Funny
We
story.
speak from experience.
We bought a playmat last year from an artist. And it turns out that at Lightbox that year, he ran into an art director from Lorcana, and he is now the enchanted artist for the Archimedes.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
there's more Lorcana artists there than you know. If you are in the vicinity in California and you can go and you're not going to Seattle, go to Lightbox for a day. You won't
Mhm.
regret it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Is Lightbot to open to public? Yes. They have tickets available
Mhm.
still. I suggest you buy
They
them
sold
right
out.
now because they sold out as
Yes.
the event gets closer. But yeah, at least you can go one day and probably it's going to be your money worth because you're going to meet well, last year, Ravensburger there was like a Ravensburger booth
Mhm.
there, and there's also like a dealer's den where there's actually artists selling products,
Mhm.
their own art, and there's some of them are actually working for Lorcana. So I really encourage you to just look around and see,
Mhm.
like you really don't know, because well, they actually show the list on the website as well. So if you find it, well, it's gonna be very cool. Like
Mhm.
you get to find your favorite artist there.
And,
Yeah.
and there are a ton that are just attending
That are
aren't
just
even
like
on the
walking
program.
around.
Like
Yeah.
we walked around last year and we ran into Mel Milton, like just bumped into him because he was just attending as an
Mhm.
attendee. And there's Disney directors and there's just animators. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, well, I do want to. I do this to our guests sometimes. I'm like, hey, I keep you for an hour, and now it's an hour and a half later. But I do want to wrap. I want to do three things. First, I'm gonna real quick plug to our channel. Then I want to go around the horn. I want to get everybody's final impressions on a year of Lorcana, where we've been, where we come from. I want to get your final thoughts, and then we're gonna close with our behind the scenes video from Lorecast because I said we would, and that's how we'll end the show. So, and it's
Wait,
fun.
what? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
You missed that part.
Okay.
But I do want to say, hey, thanks everybody for watching. We do this every Monday night at 8 o'clock, not 7. I apologize for the wrong time. And just a quick plug for our YouTube channel. You know, one of our end of the year goals is to get to 5,000 subscribers. We're at 3,898. So if you haven't and you're watching on Twitter or something, go head over and like hit the subscribe button because it's fun and we do videos occasionally. And I don't know. And I want to feel the validation of getting to 5,000 because I don't know. It's a number. Also, go sub to Breezy on Twitter or on Twitch as a birthday present, so we get into 1,000 subs.
Yeah.
But thanks everybody for watching, and let's go around the horn here quick, and we'll start. I don't know who wants to start.
Caroline, since she's top, she's first.
Carolyn, your thoughts on a year of Lorcana, where we are, where we've been. I don't know. What are your parting shots for the show?
I am just so excited for the future of this game as my cat once again cuts in front of me. I think that watching it grow over this first year, there are so many good signs for the future, not just from Ravensburger, but from the community, from the product itself, from organized play, from the announcement of these fan events. I'm so excited to see where they go. I think, the game is really looking at its audience as a whole. It's not only paying attention to one lane, it's looking at everyone. And I think if they continue to do that, the game is going to continue to grow at the exponential rate that it has. And I think as long as we keep the same vibe at the core that we have of our community, I think anyone joining in is going to pick up on that immediately, and the community is going to grow in the same positive way. And I'm really stoked for that.
Can't say any better.
Worlds would love to see a giant collection of artists like at these other cons. Like,
That would be
just as
amazing.
a side note.
Breezy.
Well, it's also my birthday, so it's been a day of reflection for me. Alongside with this beautiful game that we play. Without this game, we none of us meet, right? Without this game, we don't I made so many amazing friends that's been there for me, not only just for the game purposes, but just as humans and as friends, and that's something that I cherish more than the game itself. It's an amazing place to meet amazing people, and honestly, where I'm at, happiness wise, this place boosts it at least, I don't know, 50% on a regular basis. And without this game, I don't get to meet the amazing people I got to talk to and chat with, and all of y'all are part of that. And I'm so thankful to be a part of it, and watching this community to be better and more positive than anything else I've ever been a part of. It's just truly a magical experience that Disney really has in a card game form as well. So it's beautiful, and I can't wait to see this baby grow and get better.
Yeah, and you should go subscribe to and follow at Breezy on Twitch. Lorcana After Dark, fantastic show. Make sure you do it.
They'll be on this time tomorrow night.
Yeah. Brendan.
Yeah, it's been a long year, but a great year, I think. There were a lot of doubters in the beginning. I remember watching videos of people from other card games talking about whether or not this game was even going to succeed, and I think based on everything we've seen in the past year, I don't think anyone can argue its success and that it's just going to continue to keep growing. We've got something really special here, and if there's anything that I've taken away from this past year, it is that Ravensburger cares and Ravensburger listens. I think fondly, we talked about Gen Con earlier in the stream of day 2 showing up to the lines, and the Ravensburger staff brought donuts and coffee for everybody that was in line because of the experiences the day before. And as soon as they figured out that there wasn't enough first chapter out there, they started reprinting more, telling the player base that there was going to be more printed. And every step along this way, they've been taking feedback from the community, and they've been improving the DLCs. They've been adding things as time goes on based on how we voice it, which I think is something really special, especially for a game like this that we want to succeed in the long run. So I'm really eager to see what they have planned that we don't know. And then I'm also eager to see how things shake up. And I'm happy that Ravensburger is the one doing this because of how receptive they've been. And I feel like we're in good hands, regardless of how, bumpy the road or the ride has been so far. I think, we're going good places.
Yeah. Brian?
How do I follow these three?
I don't know.
I mean, like looking back and reflecting, like what can I say about a game that has changed? It's changed my life in so many ways, and they've all been like really good changes. Like I've been in pretty dark places in my life, and like I've always loved Disney. I've been a part of TCG communities in the past, and some of them aren't so great. I've been that outcast. I've been that person that sat at a lunch table by himself and ate. And the Disney community, the Lorcana community it's amazing. Like it's absolutely incredible. Like I feel like everybody here, you guys are part of my family. Like I've always wanted to be a content creator. Never thought I was good enough. Never thought anyone would want to hear me talk. Never thought anyone would want to see my face. And like, look at me. Look where I am. Like I can't, like I have Lorcana to thank for that.
You are a part of the dream team, bud.
You are. And you're dreamy too, by the way. Just
And the dreamy team.
It's like my life is more positive because of it. Like I've caught myself slipping into negativity at certain points throughout my life, and like I live with so much more positivity, like so much more happiness, all over a silly card game. Like that's what this community means to me.
That's amazing.
Sorry.
Now we need to stop. I'm remiss if I don't say for both RMB and Brendan, you can see their handles there. Make sure you follow them on Twitter. Both amazing creators and people, as you can tell. If you're not already, and everybody here is already following us. So. Yeah. Chappy, how about you?
It's crazy, honestly. Like I came into Lorcana. A little background about me. I did graphics for the Lost Boys. I was part of the Lost Boys team before I started making content. And if you would have asked me a year ago this time, would you be making content for this? I would be like, I don't know. Like it sounds fun, but the art has always been the sticking point for me. Like I remember seeing the first glimpses of Monstrous Dragon and Mickey BLT, and those cards spoke to me. The art spoke to me. And it was a point where I was like, this community's super awesome, super cool. Like, I want to be part of that. Like, I want to help create these, awesome graphics and stuff, but I also want to be part of that, step into that world. And being able to experience that with you guys and my wife, who is also super huge into the art with me, being able to share that with y'all and the rest of the community, and with her and with the other artists like Louise and Nick Cole and all that, it's just wonderful. It's great. It's a blessing to be here with you guys, with the whole community in general. So I think it's awesome. It's been a
Yeah.
great year. Here's to many, many more, dude. I'm so ready.
And shout out to the Lorcana loving significant others out there. I know both Chappy and Ryan got some really cute presents from their ladies
Yes.
recently related to Lorcana.
Yeah, we should have queued those up. Next week. Next week. Before we close with Louise, Aaron, what about you last year?
I think that we have lived more life in this last year than we probably did in the first 11 years of our life together, which is incredible.
Yeah, you
Not
guys had a baby.
only yeah, I mean that
Literally produced life.
Yeah.
You guys are awake twice as much as you were the first 11 years.
I mean that, and then
All true.
how rich our daughter's life has been, and of course she's going to have no memories of this, but going on her first plane ride at 6 weeks old, because we're like, okay, we're going to Miami, and then we fly home from Miami on a Monday, and we're laying in bed at night, and we're like, you know what? Let's go to Lightbox this week. And literally on a Monday night, buying plane tickets for Wednesday, and then flying to LA with our now 7-week-old to go to Disneyland with Kenny Anderson and hang out with these Lorcana artists, and
Casual.
going to Seattle and getting to go to the DLCs and getting to experience that with our daughter, and making friends, and growing, as you were saying, R&B, like growing our family not only through our daughter but through all of you, and loving so many new people in our lives in just the last year. I mean, I think my heart is just so full of love this year, not only for our daughter but for our friends, and sorry, I had a long day at work, and for this community, and just being there for us. It's incredible. Sorry, it's been a tough day. So
You two are both exhausted, I know.
It is true. I put the wrong time on our live stream. And speaking of people that we've met and people that we love, Louise, let's finish up with you. For you, what has Lorcana been like the last year? And I don't know, what do you think about where this game's come?
Well, I think I have shared this with you, Liam and Erin, especially with you too, that Lorcana, basically, this project saved my life in certain way, because I was in a bad spot. The whole pandemic situation happened. I lost my dad, lost my grandmother, my grandmother as well. So mentally I was mentally in a very bad spot, and I wasn't getting like any job or anything like that. So this offer just came by just one day to be part of this project, and just be part of it has been one of the best things that happened in my life. And I just have to thank everyone. Thank you for my family, my dad, all of you as well, because you have supported us, like all the artists and this project. You have supported so much. Thank you very much for your passion, your love for trading cards for Disney. It's just been a fantastic year, an unreal year, to be honest. And I'm just looking at the future and see, like, I really want to enjoy even more this community and just to do more fun stuff. And hopefully I get to work on more cards for you guys, which is an absolute honor for me, just to do art for Ravensburger and for all my friends that are part of this project. It's just been crazy. And thank you very much. Just
Thank you
Yeah, thank you
for
for
what you do.
your wonderful art, man. It's
Your passion shines through.
Right here. You've
Yeah.
given us our iconic dragon that every card game needs. We're always your legacy is cemented through this beauty and many more cards.
yeah.
And like what you've done, and when I see this beautiful card enter my board, I tremble, and I always this is you've cemented yourself in the beautiful game. And
Your artwork
can't wait to see more.
evokes emotion
Yeah.
on when it hits the board like that. I think should tell you alone the kind of impact you've had on this game.
Yeah, and I really hope I can do even more, outside of doing art for the project for Lorcana. I certainly need to do more fan art of Disney, because I haven't, for some reason I haven't, and I should do, and I should post it, because in my spare time I get to do sketches, but sometimes, how we feel about sketches, that they're kind of personal, and sometimes it's like, should I share it, should I not? But after talking with other artists, they say, like, yeah, you should, if you feel like it, you should share it, and because the community is gonna love it. And
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, I certainly look forward to share more art, and just to be interacting a little bit more with the community, which is wonderful.
If you ever get bored, maybe drawing some Disney art, maybe do a Cusco one. Maybe, put that in there.
As long as he keeps these Pete's coming, I'm happy.
Oh yeah, that feed apparently
Yeah,
it's
the
very
Pete
good.
Games reference. Oh, so one of my favorite cards from set 5. Very happy that it is your art as well. So
Yeah, he's up there.
I was like, I totally forgot about the effect. I was like, oh, that's actually very good.
it is quite good.
But yeah, thank you again for just this kind of moments. It's wonderful just to talk with the community, and just being able to share things with you guys. Well, at least to share things that we're allowed to share.
Yes. Yes. One day.
Exactly.
Sorry, Chappy, I cut you off.
You're totally fine. Yeah, man. As somebody that yaps and yaps on about the art of this game for hours on end, I appreciate your insight that you shared with us tonight. Like getting a little glimpse behind, what you put into it, and the process that you could talk about like that. That's so awesome. I'm so glad you were here to share with us and talk with us tonight.
No,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, and yeah, I just love that you guys also get that those comments about the creative part, which is the illustration, and also about the implications of the effect of the card and everything, and how it gets. So it's just wonderful that you get to see both sides, or those sides of the product, which is the card. So it's wonderful.
Well, thanks so much, everybody, for being here. This is wonderful. Make sure that you follow Louise at Gamut Feathers on Twitter. And we're going to put the links for all of our guests into our show notes. Give me about an hour or so, and they'll all be there. But you should follow all of them. They're wonderful. And you can meet Louise in Miami. But until next week, we do need to wrap up. Happy anniversary, Lorcana. We look forward to another amazing year. And we'll see you all back here next year for the 2-year anniversary. And as I said we would, as we sign off, we're going to play our behind the scenes video from Lorecast on this subject of living life and enriching life. We're going to give you a behind the scenes look if you haven't seen it. We've only aired this once on another Let's Talk Lorcana, and it's not on YouTube, so this is your chance to see it. But with that, we'll say sign off catchphrase. This is absolutely crazy. Bags. Aaron. Bags. Getting ready. Here we go.
Welcome to Seattle. The time is 8:59.
We're here! It's happening!
So I'm glad that y'all kind of did a mix of both, and we're having an opportunity to see her in a completely kind of new way.
You know, all the time and you know, to describe, you know, certain things, but I love thinking about it that way.
But there's also this whole other like set of people, these concept artists who are contributing to this game and who are working behind the scenes.
So we're done.
Yeah, outside the studio. What a
That
rush.
That was insane. It was amazing.
Yeah, thanks everyone who watched.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm still speechless and processing what just happened.